from Colorado's news channel. This is CBS4 This Morning.
A shooting scene in Conifer last night. 2 people are still on the run.
This morning, what we know about the one arrest so far and the others deputies are looking for. Welcome to CBS4 This Morning. It's Friday, September 27th. I'm Ellen Janae.
And I'm Andrea Flores. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. Here's today's Colorado Eye Opener.
After a shooting last night just before 9 in Conifer here, 2 people are injured and the sheriff's office has 1 person in custody, but they're still looking for 2 other suspects.
2 Colorado representatives are key players in the impeachment inquiry of Donald Trump. Ken Buck and Jason Crow talked to us about the allegation that President Trump asked the Ukrainian president to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden and his son.
There can't be a predetermined outcome here. I think it's a legitimate area for Congress to look into.
A special robotics tournament right here at East High School is honoring a true hero. Kendrick Castillo loved robotics. He was passionately involved in his school's robotics team, STEM Impulse. That's why they're naming the tournament after him.
We all learned that Kendrick was an amazing young man, kind, generous, giving, and what we learned ultimately was courageous.
I'm kind of mad when I talk about it that bus driver acted like that.
A fight breaks out between a parent, paraprofessional, and a bus driver on a Denver school bus. Last night, the superintendent of Denver Public Schools met with parents to talk about what happened.
It got pretty heated. It was pretty deep.
The Broncos will face Gardner Minshew, who is Jacksonville's rookie quarterback that doesn't lack in confidence. I mean, this young man has a stash. Take a look at that bad boy.
He's really done a good job of operating this offense.
The reason why I have the nickname the Steininator is because I'm like a robot when I'm on stage. I have no feelings and no pain.
They hold their Steins out straight for a chance to win. An all-expenses paid trip to Munich, Germany.
Beer.
Yeah, that is some.
Have you ever done that before? Yeah, it's
One of those big mugs, too.
Yeah, the Steins.
You know, probably close to 10 pounds of beer.
Is that enough?
Me and Alan used to do that in our younger days.
Yeah, I know. That's another Friday for you guys, right?
Hold my beer.
They kept getting lighter and lighter.
Well, of course, the Denver Oktoberfest continues this weekend, too, so something to check out in addition to a lot of weekend events.
Yeah, it's cool. The drive looks pretty good this morning. We do have our first accident in the morning, so I'll show you where that's at coming up here in just a moment.
All right, we're watching a front coming out of Wyoming this morning, but I don't think it's going to be one of those fronts that you got to worry about. It's going to actually make us feel good, and not as hot as yesterday. Here, as we look at the map, you could see the temperatures are dropping up here north in Cheyenne, Kimball, Greeley now at 46. It's 51 in Fort Collins. So the front's right through this area here, and it's slowly going to ooze in over the northeastern corner of the state. So here's the planner for you today. It'll be mostly sunny. There's not a lot of moisture initially with this front coming through. So 54 at 9 a.m., 65 at noon with increasing clouds, and then by this afternoon, a few showers and thunderstorms after about 2 or 3. But 75 ought to be the high temperature today. Joel Hillen, I would call 75 almost a perfect temperature for us this time of year.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that. That's pretty darn good. All right, take a look. This is our first look from Copter 4 this morning of the morning commute. I-25 in Colfax, and yeah, it is filling in. But you know, it's been a pretty typical Friday morning commute with nice light volumes. It's a little farther to the north, and so goes the drive, as goes that southbound drive into town. We do have our first accident, Alan. We mentioned this is southbound along I-225, right on the approach to I-25.
All right, Joel, thank you very much. Covering Colorado first this morning, a double shooting in Conifer left hundreds of people on edge overnight. 2 of the people believed involved are still on the loose right now. Let's get the latest. Jacqueline Quinn is in Conifer this morning with the very latest. Jacqueline?
Yeah, they're still actively looking for those 2 suspects, but they don't think that they're still in Conifer, so that means that really they could be anywhere at this point. But we're here at the Safeway because they told people, about 200 to 300 people in the neighborhood, to come here to shelter in place, although that warning has been lifted for now. So let's go back to some of the video that we have from last night. We've learned again that 1 person was taken into custody, a young man, according to the sheriff's office here. And again, they are still looking for 2 others who who they believe are not really in this area and could be anywhere. The suspects were wanted after the sheriff's office got a call of 2 people shot last night, and they do believe the victims and the suspects know each other. Now, it happened near the 11,000 block of Blackfoot Road just before 9. And at one point, a tweet from the sheriff's office said that the missing suspects had said that they might still be in the area and were a danger to the public, and that's why they told people to shelter in place or come to the Safeway here if they couldn't get home. Now, that was lifted at 2:30 this morning because they had extra patrols out there. Now, I asked the sheriff's office this morning and was checking back in with them, and they don't have a description on the suspects or possibly a car and how they got away. But again, we are still working to find out more details at this time. For now, reporting in Conifer, I'm Jacqueline Quinn, covering Colorado First.
Jacqueline, thanks a lot for following that this morning. We'll update anybody with any new information.
For the second year, dedicated robotics teams all across Colorado are coming together to compete. An event has now taken on a new name in honor of a true hero. Teams are calling it the Kendrick Castillo Robotics Invitational in remembrance of the young man who gave his life to save his classmates back in May. Our Michaelia White is live now with what they're doing to keep his memory alive. And Michaelia, the STEM community, of course, still healing from this loss.
They are, and that tournament was originally supposed to be called the Colorado Robotics Invitational, but yes, they said that wouldn't suffice. They renamed it after Kendrick. Kendrick was, of course, very passionate, very involved in his school's team, the STEM Impulse. About 30 teams from all across our state will be competing, including the DSST Montview Robotics team that you see here, testing their skills, bringing out their best robots. It's an off-season event to feature more teammates. The competition is an opportunity to get people interested in building robots, but of course, to memorialize Kendrick Castillo. Kendrick died back in May, protecting his classmates when 2 shooters opened fire at STEM school Highlands Ranch. And the amount of support his family has received since, it really speaks to how saturated he was in the robotics community. The lives he touched also show the type of son, friend, and teammate that he was.
Several of us actually on the team went to a memorial for Kendrick back in May. We all learned that Kendrick was an amazing young man, kind, generous, giving, and what we learned ultimately was courageous.
And this is the second year of this event, and organizers say it's the second of many years to come. For now, we're live in Denver. Michaelia White covering Colorado First.
Michaelia, thank you so much. And this is all part of Energy Day tomorrow from 11 to 4 at East High School. For more information, just head to our website, cbsdenver.com.
Let's look ahead to the Broncos game. Broncos fans, hopefully you're getting amped up for the game this weekend. They could use some fans in this one. In spite of a sagging record, the Broncos do feel they can turn things around.
We certainly hope so. The Broncos really need to snap their losing streak against the Jags at home on Sunday. Justin Adams joins us now. And Justin, there's a lot of tension. You can feel it. These guys want to get the W.
Yeah, especially in the locker room. They want to get a W this week, especially for the home fans, especially a guy like Von Miller, who's a guy who likes to see the glass half full, always seeing the positive in everything. But even he's fed up with the losing, which might explain why he was short in his press conference yesterday.
Got a great week of preparation. Got great teammates, great coaches. I'm excited about the opportunity this week versus the Jaguars. Got a great game plan in. I'm excited to play.
Well, all right. Von Miller has every reason to be angry. Not only is the team winless, but Von hasn't had a sack in the last 5 games. Now, hopefully that would change this week as the Broncos will face Gardner Minshew, which is Jacksonville's rookie quarterback that doesn't lack in confidence. I mean, take a look at his stash. Now, Minshew is second in the league in completion percentage, so that means Vic Fangio is going to have to draw up a really good game plan to rattle the rookie.
What stands out about him is how well he's done since he's came in there. I mean, he came in there, I believe, on the 12th play of their opener. He's been in there since, and he's really done a good job of operating this offense. Very quick decision maker, sees the field well.
Oh, man, he can make all the throws. He has great touch on the ball. I would say probably one little negative is probably his arm strength is probably average, but everything else, he can make all the throws. Great touch on the ball, on the deep ball, and his receivers they're getting open for him.
Now, the Broncos secondary could be without a couple of guys on Sunday. Starting quarterback Bryce Callahan is out for 4 weeks with a foot injury, and Kareem Jackson is questionable with a hamstring injury. Now, at 6:45, I'm going to tell you why Sunday's game is going to be a homecoming for two guys who graduated from Denver South High School. Also, I looked in the archives. I might have a little something special for you at 6:45, too.
Okay, because you mentioned in the last segment that you actually played against one of the guys that's going to be coming home for this game, right?
I did. I played against Calais Campbell, just to let you a little bit inside that, and I'll just let you know we won that game, so we'll show you that.
Yeah. Was he 6'8" then?
He wasn't 6'8" there. He was 6'7" and a quarter. I'll put it that way. That brother was tall, okay?
Right,
He was a big guy.
It's that final 3/4 of an inch.
Yeah, it's only 3/4 of an inch, right? Yeah.
All right. We're looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Justin.
It's going to be great. Let's go to Dave, Colorado's first weather.
Can't wait for Sunday. Here's the forecast for the game on Sunday. It'll be in the 80s. It'll feel like summertime. Kickoff about 80 degrees, 82 at halftime, 79 by the end of the fourth quarter. Mostly sunny skies. Might just be a little bit windy out there. It's a little windy this morning here across the Front Range because we have a cold front that's moving right from Wyoming, starting to move into northern Colorado. This will be changing our weather today. We were 89 yesterday, 1 degree away from the record. Today we're going to cool it off by about 15 degrees with this front coming through. Now, initially, there's not a lot of moisture with this, but if we look up north into Wyoming up here, there's a little bit of rain and some high mountain snow, and that'll be moving into the northern part of Colorado, providing us with a chance for some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. You can see it here in the Futurecast. After about 2 o'clock, a few isolated storms may pop up in the Front Range, about a 20% chance for us. So it's not going to be a washout or anything like that. We just might get a few showers. High in Denver, 75, 71 in Fort Collins, and about 79 in Castle Rock. Not too shabby. Let's check out how the morning drive is. Anything shabby about that drive out there, Joel?
Well, we have a little trouble spot that we've been following this morning. So not only along I-225, which I'll show you here in a second, but this is some police activity which has shut off a portion of Ellsworth and Pennsylvania. And Copter 4 is flying over that right now. You can see the heavy police presence, and that's just going to be a tough drive for folks. That's where it's centered, and the icon that we had earlier, it's just south of Spear, has been lifted, but it's still there. Across the Denver metro area, this is what we're seeing. Got the accident southbound along I-225 on the approach to I-25. I-70 on the approach to I-225. Starting to load up now as you get past I-270, Andrea.
Okay, morning rush underway. Thank you so much, Joel. Time right now is 6:11. President Trump is back in Washington today.
They reacted to new details released in the whistleblowers report last night in a closed-door meeting with U.S. diplomats.
The person that gave the whistleblower the information.
Well, the president rails about how information went public as Democrats look at whether the president broke any laws. That's coming up.
Welcome back to CBS4 This Morning. You reporter Peter Pritivac has sent in this gorgeous picture of the aspens changing at the Maroon Bells. Perfect weekend to start heading up to the high country if you are considering some leaf peeping. Dave has more on that coming up in just a few minutes.
Yes, beautiful, that iconic Colorado view, and it's good every time, no matter what time of the year it is. Time for today's top stories right now. President Trump says yesterday's congressional hearing on the whistleblower complaint against him was a disgrace to the country and another witch hunt. Bloomberg News obtained video from inside a closed-door meeting of U.S. diplomats yesterday with the president on the attack, suggesting the whistleblower's acts could be treasonous.
You know what we used to do in the old days when we were smart, right? The spies and treason, right? We used to handle it a little differently than we do now.
Well, in the complaint released yesterday, the whistleblower suggests senior White House officials knew details of that phone call President Trump had with the leader of the Ukraine over the summer, and they feared they had witnessed the president abuse his office for personal gain. The acting director of national intelligence says he has no reason to doubt the whistleblower. President Trump is claiming he did not pressure Ukraine to investigate his political opponent, Joe Biden. White House officials listened to the call, which was not initially restricted because they expected it would be routine. Then they tried to restrict access, claiming executive privilege. An Alaska Airlines flight from New York to Los Angeles had to make an emergency landing yesterday after a passenger reportedly tried to storm the cockpit. Here's some video from inside that plane. The issue started out with a man complaining about not being able to use a first-class bathroom. Then later in the flight, he tried to open the cockpit door. A big no-no. Flight attendants said that man was combative and unruly. He was eventually restrained. The pilot was forced to land that plane in Kansas City, where police arrested that man.
The next Super Bowl, Super Bowl 53, will be in Miami, and two powerful female performers are heating up the halftime show. Jennifer Lopez and Shakira announced they will take the stage together for halftime entertainment. The National Football League's championship game is one of the biggest annual events on TV. J-Lo and Shakira say being asked to perform at halftime is a dream come true.
There's Dave Aguilera striking a pose for us. So by the weather wall this morning, Dave.
That's right. I don't know if I could do. I don't have the poses down. I'll tell you what.
Don't worry about it.
Hey, striking a pose this weekend, and the colors up in the high country, the northern part of the state now through the first week of October next week are peaking through this area. So along I-70, you take a drive on any one of those passes, you're going to look at some great color. And then the southern part of the state will probably peak after that further into October. It's a little behind this year, but man, oh man, is it looking good. Rod McKinney shot this up in Breckenridge, and it's looking pretty up there. All right, we have a cold front to talk about this morning, a fabulous Friday cold front. I think it's going to really make today feel nice. Yesterday was hot. It was 89 yesterday. The front now is in southern Wyoming. It'll slide through here and keep us in the 70s for the high temperature today. As you look at the radar and satellite, the front's up through here. Not a lot of cloud cover yet with this coming through. Later this afternoon, we might get into some moisture, and we might get enough to get some thunderstorms and some showers going. Here's a look. You can see behind the front, it's in the 40s up here, and that's starting to drip down into the northeastern plains this morning. Jeff Newfer, one of our newer weather watchers in Thornton, is coming in at 51 right now, and 42 from Jonathan Greenspan down in Telluride, and he says the colors are looking pretty good down there as well. Here's the jet stream forecast now. This passing trough and this cutoff low add to our weather change today. Tomorrow will be windy and cooler, and then as we look ahead of this, I think the weekend's going to be nice. It will be a little windy, but we get back into the 80s by Sunday. And then a deep cold trough starts to develop here out west. That'll change our weather for Tuesday, Wednesday next week. A cool shot for us, and some of the northern mountains of Montana with that storm, at least starting this weekend, could see blizzard-like conditions out of that trough, believe it or not. Now, here's the front today coming through. We might have a few isolated thunderstorms this afternoon that pop around here. About a 20% chance of that happening today. High temperature should be around 75 degrees. It'll be windy early with afternoon showers, and then over the weekend, 78 to start it, windy on Saturday. Sunday, Joel, though, for the big Bronco game, warmer, windy, and 86 degrees. I think it's going to be lovely for our first Bronco win this weekend.
Yes, it is. It's going to be awesome, and it's going to be great for Energy Day tomorrow out at East High School. Hey, this is what it looks like from Copter 4, I-70 and Central Park Boulevard. We've got a little trouble spot, and that's in the eastbound lanes, and it looks like on the ramp to get onto I-70, just the right side getting by. That's going to slow things down. This is what the drive times look like right now as you make your way along I-70, and you see it dipping down into the 40s there. I-225, the earlier accident we had on the approach to I-25 cleared out of the way, so 50 miles an hour, the average speed from Parker to I-25, not bad. Speeds into the upper 40s, you travel along Arapahoe Road. Parker Road, making your way from Arapahoe out to I-225. Here we are across the Denver metro area. No big trouble spots except for, that little one where we had copters southbound coming into town looking great, and that's leading to some great drive times. 10 minutes to get you from Thornton to Denver. This is the typical slow spot. Look at that. Speeds into the 40s now, both directions as you travel along I-270. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to CBS4. Time right now is 6:24. If you are heading out to DIA this Friday, getting out of town, we have some cancellations and delays.
Yeah, a lot of those going out to California this morning, but I'm not sure whether, Dave Aguilera, is an issue with that, right?
Yeah, I don't think the weather, at least on the west side of the nation, is going to be a problem. Chicago, though, has a bullseye on it today. Let me show you why. West Coast, if there is any rain, it'll be up around Seattle and Portland. Nothing really big, just a front coming through there. And as we travel across the nation, 70s and 80s in the midsection of the country, a couple of isolated showers and thunderstorms here and there. Now, here's what I'm talking about. We're going to have some severe thunderstorms from Iowa up into the Great Lakes today. Chicago is going to be about 71 degrees today, but they are expecting today into tonight at least 1 to 2 inches of rain in Chicago. They're going to have some minor street flooding, and that may slow things down. East Coast is looking pretty good. Not too bad there at all, though, all things considered. Around here, we're looking at 75 for our high today. Joel Hillen standing by the sunrise shots over here. Sunrise is at 6:51 this morning, but already you can see it's going to be a beauty out there.
I like how you say Chicago.
Chicago.
By the way.
And my dad used to say that. Chicago. He'd put a ch on it. Chicago.
Yeah,
and when I go to Pueblo, I start talking like that. Chicago.
Love it. Hey, the drive this morning looking pretty good. We just just have this one little trouble spot. Maybe you're heading out to DIA. This is the ramp from I-270 to get onto I-70, and you can see that left lane is blocked off. Watch out for that. What about the drive out to DIA? Well, it's a little slow eastbound I-70 because of an accident we have close to Central Park Boulevard. Northbound I-225 inbound along Pena Boulevard looking great. And once you get out there, security wait times 14, 13, and 17. You know what? That's not too bad.
Not too bad for a Friday. Thank you so much, Joel. And let's give you something to look forward to on this Friday. Here are 4 fun events happening this weekend. Fall has officially begun, and that can only mean one thing. Maze in the City opens for the season. Head to Thornton Saturday for opening day and get lost in a 20-acre maze. You can use a smartphone trivia game to help you along the way. It's $12 for adults, $9 for kids. Kids 4 and under are free. Saturday is National Public Lands Day. And to celebrate, the National Park Service is opening all parks to the public. Enjoy a free day at one of Colorado's national parks, including Rocky Mountain National Park, just in time for leaf peeping if you are planning on heading up to the high country. Celebrate the connection between people and our state's beautiful open spaces. Head to the shops at Northfield Stapleton Saturday for one of Colorado's original urban markets. Gear up for a day full of Colorado's most creative craft vendors, food trucks, and live music at the Big Wonderful. Admission is free. And head to the Arvada Center this weekend for their production of Bright Star. The bluegrass musical is set in the Blue Ridge Mountains of North Carolina back in the 1940s, and it weaves a story of love, loss, and understanding. The show runs today through Sunday. Tickets start at $59.
Wow. Did you say Big Wonderful?
Yes.
Okay.
I wasn't talking about you.
Oh, I thought that was my cue to come over. I didn't know.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. All right. We'll be back. We'll have a look at the very latest news this morning coming up.
Good morning. The control room's live. Stand by Andrea and Alan. We're coming out to camera 3. Open rolls in 3, 2, 1. Fade up sound.
From Colorado's News Channel, this is CBS4 This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6:31 on this Friday, September 27th. You made it to the end of the week. I'm Andrea Flores.
Congratulations on this Friday. I'm Alan Janae. Welcome to CBS4 This Morning. A lot of news we're following today.
That's right. This morning, Jefferson County Sheriff's Office still searching for 2 people involved in a shooting last night.
As a look at the scene overnight there, 2 people got hurt. Both are in the hospital. We are waiting for an update on their conditions. Our Jacqueline Quinn has a live report coming up in just a few minutes this morning.
That's right. But first, we want to get to Dave Aguilera. He has Colorado's first weather. And Dave, what can we expect for the start of the school day?
Well, it's Cold Front Friday around here. The front has made it through Denver, but initially it's very dry, and I think it's going to be delivering a very nice day. And look at this. Sunrise just a few minutes away. We're going to have a mostly clear sky. And as you're getting the kids ready for school this morning, it'll be about 53 at the bus stop between now and 9 o'clock with mostly sunny skies, a little breezy from time to time. 65 at lunchtime with increasing clouds. And for the trip home, 75 ought to be the high, and there's about a 20% chance of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. So it's not going to be a washout or anything like that. But 75, Joel Hillen, is a lot better than that 89-degree hot day we had yesterday. I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on who you ask, but we love it both ways. Colorado in September is just awesome. Hey, we're watching from Copter 4 this morning. As you travel right near I-70 and I-25 out to I-25 and US 36, they just shifted the camera on us there. But you can see all that volume we have pouring southbound into town. That's causing a little bit of slowing. So we have some trouble spots out there this morning. Southbound I-25 at 6th Avenue, blocking off a lane. We've got Ellsworth in Pennsylvania, some police activity going on there. And then a ramp that's got the left lane blocked off from I-270 to eastbound I-70. All those causing delays this morning, Alan.
Joel, thanks very much. Covering Colorado First right now. This weekend, a Colorado hero will be remembered by his classmates as they take part in an event he would love. This year, a robotics tournament will be named the Kendrick Castillo Robotics Invitational. Our Micaiah White live now from where that's happening to give you this story. Good morning, Micaiah.
Good morning, Alan. Yes, Kendrick Castillo, he loved robotics. He spent a lot of his free time building robots with his team, STEM Impulse. That's why when they had this tournament here, they didn't even hesitate to honor him.
Modeling, we have the layer lines.
Building robots comes second nature to students on Team Brute Force from DSST Montview. Their passion is palpable.
I love robotics because I love to make things, and I love to mentor other students and just learn everything I can get my hands on.
I just love being given a challenge and be able to really work through that challenge.
And while they're getting ready to compete against other teams, they're united this year with a common thread.
This was supposed to be the Colorado Robotics Invitational, but it's been renamed to the Kendrick Castillo Memorial Tournament to honor Kendrick Castillo.
Kendrick Castillo was deeply involved in his school's robotics team, STEM Impulse. The 18-year-old son, friend, and teammate was killed in May when 2 gunmen opened fire at STEM School Highlands Ranch. He was shielding friends he considered family.
Several of us actually on the team went to the memorial for Kendrick back in May. We all learned that Kendrick was an amazing young man, kind, generous, giving, and what we learned ultimately was courageous.
Something his robotics family says we can all learn from. That's why they're keeping his memory alive.
It's like such a great thing because it was such an awful thing that happened to him, and he was such a big part of this community, being in a FRC team for 4 years, and his family being the mentors of it. So he's grown up in this FRC community, and the fact that we lost him is just a really big loss. So memorialize this for him is really important.
And this is the second year for the event, which begins tomorrow morning right here at East High School behind me. For now, we are live in Denver. Michaela White covering Colorado first.
Well, thanks for bringing us the story, Mick. This is all part of Energy Day tomorrow from 11 to 4 at East High School. For more information about who is taking part, you can go to cbsdenver.com.
We continue covering Colorado with stories making headlines across our state. People planning to see the upcoming Joker movie at a landmark theater won't be allowed to wear a costume, makeup, or masks. It's the latest change to announce restrictions ahead of the film's release next week. Families of Aurora Theater shooting victims have expressed concern about the violence in the new movie. The FBI is also looking into online posts that encouraged violence at screenings. Cheers and bottoms up. It's Denver Beer Week, and there will be more than 200 local beer events to help you quench your thirst. To celebrate, the city unveiled the annual Denver Beer Trail. It gives suggested walking and biking routes between breweries, teaches you about beer, and tells you where to drink it. Denver Beer Week goes through October 5th. It leads into the Great American Beer Festival that starts next Thursday.
Well, this fight in a Denver public school bus that led to the arrest of a mother has prompted the superintendent to talk to concerned parents about what happened. The video shows what was happening between a parent there and a paraprofessional in the back of the bus, the blows being delivered. CBS 4's Jamie Leary talked with parents and students following that meeting with the superintendent.
The meeting tonight went all right. Just all right for Meredith Lindgren because what she heard was that their investigation is still ongoing, which for parents who were involved with this, who saw their kids go through this, that is hard to hear. Her son, 10-year-old Tristan, is one of those kids.
He wouldn't let us off of the bus. We were just trying to go home and he wouldn't let us off.
Meredith doesn't get emotional, but hearing the screams, too much. I can distinctly hear his voice as one of the children that's saying, "Let us off the bus." It was terrible.
I'm kind of mad when I talk about it that the bus driver acted like that, because it's just kind of like, why would you do this?
The district says it's making changes so no kid is ever in that situation.
I'm deeply committed to making sure that we can do a better job in de-escalating situations that don't need to get out of hand like that.
Meredith believes the district is making changes, but I want to see the bus driver fired. I'd like to see a full report, and I'd like to see this not happen again.
Jamie Leary reporting there. New training for bus drivers will include cultural sensitivity training.
We want to get to Dave right now with a check of the forecast heading into the weekend. It looks like a beautiful sunrise.
Woohoo, yeah, check that out. Sunrise officially at 6:51 this morning, so we're very close to that. What a beautiful morning. We're behind the front that has pushed through this morning. Now, this is going to take a while to really feel the effects of what's happening here. Temperature-wise, we've dropped into the 40s and 50s around the region here, so not terrible, and it's not an Arctic front by any means that we'd see see in the middle of the winter. But it is on the weather map. It's moved through the Denver metro area. The moisture end is still up there in Wyoming, and that's expected to move through as we go through the day. But as you look at the close-up radar and satellite on the state, you can see just not a lot of cloud cover around here. So initially, we're going to start out mostly sunny despite a cold front going through on this Friday. But what the front will do, will drop our temperatures by about 15 degrees. It's going to mix with that low, that cutoff low that you see over New Mexico now sliding through here. And by the afternoon time, that'll give us a shower and thunderstorm chance. And then another cool shot coming in for tomorrow, so we stay chilly tomorrow. And look at that big low out there right over Northern California, Washington, Oregon out here. That one will be a weather changer coming Tuesday and Wednesday for us. And it may deliver blizzard-like conditions up there in some of the mountains of Montana this weekend. Around here, though, we're looking at 70s and 80s as we've cooled it down here behind the front. So that's a far cry from yesterday when we were in the upper 80s here. So 75 in the city, windy early, showers this afternoon, 78 tomorrow, windy and warm on Sunday for the Bronco game. We're looking at 86 degrees for the high by then. And then Monday into Tuesday next week, Joel Hillen, some of the coolest weather we've had so far this season may roll in. But we're gonna wait until the weekend to talk about that.
There you go. There you go. I appreciate that. Hey, all that talk of a good morning commute, and I did this, I think. This is southbound I-25 as you get to 104th. You got the left 3 lanes of the express toll lane blocked off there. Just the right lane squeaking by. Of course, that's the worst possible spot to have an accident at this point in the morning commute. It's going to be hard to recover from that. Speed's dipping down almost into the single digits now. 15 minutes on the drive from Thornton to Denver. Westbound I-76, eastbound along I-270 loading up as well. Here we are across the Denver metro area. Got the ramp blocked off from I-270 to get onto I-70. Just the right lane getting by there because of an accident southbound along I-25. We've got an accident at 6th Avenue. You can see the backups from the mousetrap because of that. And then another one, Pennsylvania and Ellsworth. That's police activity that's going on right now that's blocked off a portion of roadway. Southbound along I-225 running heavy from Parker Road out into the tech center. Pretty common this time of day. And you can see the separation of those. I thought I'd zoom in and show you there. Here we are, drive times. Both directions along I-70 now starting to slow down with speeds dipping down to the 40s into the 30s southbound along I-225.
Time now for the Ford Sports Break.
Well, the Rockies counting down days until vacation. 4 games left, including day baseball yesterday in San Francisco. Kyle Freeland making his second start since coming off the injured list. Freeland lasted 3 innings yesterday, gave up 1 run and 3 hits. Now, by the bottom of the 5th, Giants were up 2-1 on the Rockies. Garrett Hampson been swinging a hot bat as of late. He would even things out with an RBI single. That would make it 2-2. Giants would eventually take the lead back, but the Rockies kept it a game until the bottom of the 8th. Brian Shaw on the bump, bases loaded. Yeah, that's just Rockies baseball right there. That's what that is. Couple runs come home to score on that one. Giants would add 1 more. They finish it off with an 8-3 victory. Rockies back home. Final series of the season against the Brewers. 6:10 start time tonight. Fireworks after the game. At least you got something to cheer for.
That was the Ford Sports Break, powered by the Ford F-150. With best-in-class capability, no wonder Ford F-Series are the best-selling trucks for 42 years. Built better, built stronger, build Ford tough, and only at your local Ford stores.
Welcome back to CBS4 This Morning, taking a live look right now in the area of Princeton, Hot Springs, and Buena Vista. And here's a good setup for your weekend, Alan. Go up to Leaf Peep and then go to the Hot Springs.
Oh, man. Mount Princeton's awesome. Those springs are great. You get in a stream down there. That's right in Nathrop, just outside of Buena Vista. Just gorgeous. Dave Aguilera, how's the weather up there in that banana belt?
It's pretty good. I love that music. Makes you just want to do a little jig this morning. Weather in that banana belt's looking pretty good. We've got 50s and 60s there. Our temperatures, though, with the cold front that has come through, are in the 40s and 50s this morning, so a cool start. But look how clear it is. That's our mile high camera, just moments away from sunrise, which is at 6:51 this morning. I wanted to show you, though, the satellite and radar and show you what's going on. Not a lot of cloud cover with the front that has gone through. The front is actually sitting now just south of Burlington and Lyman and south of the Denver metro area here as it pushes in. But something interesting here I want to show you. This is the radar added on top of it, and it's not rain, but it's picking up the wind as the front is going across eastern Colorado. So you can see the front just going through here at the moment. Some of those returns later this afternoon. Joel Hillen will show actual rain, and we could have some showers and thunderstorms before 7 o'clock. I'll show you the forecast on that one.
All right, Dave. Hey, we've got a couple of accidents across the Denver metro area, so let's break them down one at a time. We've got Copter 4 right now, I-25 and I-70, and under I-70 there, it looks like there's quite a bit of slowing. I'm not sure if there's a little trouble spot off to the right. As you get to 20th, we've got an accident. We had the earlier accident, 6th Avenue, now cleared out of the way. Pennsylvania and Ellsworth is a trouble spot. At the top of the screen, I-270, the ramp to get onto I-70 from eastbound I-270. The left lane is blocked. That's caused some delays. Southbound coming down into town, we have a different accident. This has caused speeds to dip into the single digits. So, Andrea, 22 minutes right now from Thornton to Denver.
Okay, Joel, thank you so much. Covering Colorado first this morning, a double shooting in Conifer left hundreds of people on edge as deputies told them to stay inside. Our Jacqueline Quinn is live in Conifer with the very latest. And Jacqueline, do we know who police are looking for?
Andrea, I talked to them this morning, and they don't have a description. They did again say that they had one person in custody, and they are looking for 2 suspects. They only said that they were 2 black males at this time, but they do want people to be aware, to be alert that they are looking for these 2 people. Now, I'm at the Safeway parking lot here because they actually told people to come here last night initially when the search began. Let's go to some of the video that we have from last night. Now, again, one person in custody, a young man, according to the Conifer Sheriff's Office here, and they're still actively looking for the other 2 who they believe may not be in Conifer anymore, so they could be anywhere at this point. Now, this all started when the Sheriff's Office got a call about 2 people who were shot last night. It happened near the 11,000 block of Blackfoot Road just before 9. A tweet at one point from the Sheriff's Office said that the missing suspects may still be in the area and were considered threatening to the people in that area. The office told people to shelter in place or come to the Safeway here if they couldn't get home. Now, that warning was lifted at 2:30. They did put out extra patrols in the neighborhood. And again, those suspects could be anywhere. And again, we tried to get a description on the men who are missing, and they couldn't really give us an update at this point, nor did they say there was a car or description of the car that those men may have gotten away. So they want people to be alert right now. We're still working to get more details. We're going to update you later today in our broadcast and online at CBS Denver. But for now, reporting in Conifer, I'm Jacqueline Quinn, covering Colorado First.
Jacqueline, thank you so much.
Another tragedy to tell you about. Park Avenue is now back open after a deadly crash overnight. A motorcyclist died in a collision with a car at 17th and Park Avenues in Denver's uptown neighborhood early this morning. This was just after 2 a.m. Roads were closed for a few hours while Denver police investigated.
Vail Resort says it's figured out why one of its gondolas malfunctioned, leaving dozens of people to be rescued. 74 employees were on their way to work July 3rd when Vail's Eagle Bond gondola stopped suddenly. All people had to be rescued by rope. Scary situation there. 20 out of the 24 bolts that secured the gondola tower had come loose. But Vail Resort says that happened because the ground shifted over time in a way that put extra stress on the tower. The resort says that issue was never detected in inspections. It's now working with the state to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Remember, that image really told the whole story right there, didn't it? Okay, let's go to the Broncos right now. Broncos fans are going to be part of the mix in a home game this weekend as they look for their first win in 8 games, I think it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Seven or 8 games?
It's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
It's too many. We've lost count,
yeah,
right?
7 games, yeah.
Well, we know that we're taking on the Jags this Sunday, and we are looking for a win.
Yeah, we are looking for a win, and it better not be 8 games. I'll put it that way, Alan. Goodness gracious, this 7-game losing streak is crazy. As the Broncos are looking for some old-fashioned home cooking on Sunday, but lately the team has been playing like, well, they are homesick. The Broncos have lost 6 out of their last 7 games at Empower Field at Mile High, including the gut-wrenching loss to Chicago in the home opener. But it hasn't always been this way. Since 1984, the Broncos have had the most home wins in the NFL. And with Jacksonville coming to town, the good guys are hoping to get that home field advantage rolling again.
We get a whole different type of energy at home, and we want to go out there and definitely put on a show for the fans. I know it's been a 7-game losing streak, I think. So we definitely want to go out there and change it and show that we're better than what we've shown so far.
It's going to be really big for all of us, for the fans, for all of us. It's a big week for us, and we're taking it, like you said, one day at a time. And our job and what we want to do is move the ball and score touchdowns, and that's what we have to do as an offense.
Now, speaking of Philip Lindsay, he'll be playing against another guy who graduated from the same high school. Jacksonville's Calais Campbell graduated from Denver South in 2004, and he's returning home to play the Broncos for the second time in his career. Now, Calais Campbell leads a Jacksonville defense that had 9 sacks last week, and he hopes to play well in his return to the Mile High City.
You get to go home and play in front of, in the stadium you used to just drive by, and visual myself playing there. And I get to, play in front of all my friends and family, teachers, people who, helped me along the way, and it's always, it's a true blessing. But you don't see a lot of guys make it to the NFL from Colorado too often, so it's definitely rare. So, I hope to be an inspiration for all the kids out there, Colorado growing up.
Now, we know the Broncos need a win in the worst way. If they need help beating Calais Campbell, well, they can look to me because I've already done it already. Here's me back in high school, folks, at Montbello High School. Rolling to the right, and you look at this kid right here catching the ball using my 10-inch vertical to get in the end zone. We beat Denver South, by the way. Here's a quick replay. One more catch, fingertip catch. That was my only touchdown of the year, but it was the game winner. So it was really important getting that done. That was back in 2003, by the way, Andrea. See, I had a little skill back in the day.
You know what? You've got some street cred. I'm not going to lie.
That's right. There you go.
And you said he's 6'8", right?
He's 6'8". So, he's 6'8", but he couldn't stop me that day, catching that touchdown, even though he was that big. There you go. Look,
was he on the bench
off
at the
shoulder.
time there?
Huh?
Was he on the bench at the time?
Oh, no. He was on the field. He was on the field.
Oh.
He just couldn't stop me that play. You see what I'm saying? So, Broncos, if you need some help, call me. I could do that.
You know how to get past him, right?
I can get it done, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Justin.
And boy, this is getting rich, isn't it? All right, Alpine Rescue Team is getting busier all the time with the increasing number of people heading into the mountains. This week, rescue team members trained with the Colorado National Guard. They worked on helicopter rescue scenarios. They were out at Buckley Air Base. The helicopters help in missions in which people are injured and stranded in hard-to-reach places.
If you had tickets to see The Who this Sunday at the Pepsi Center, bad news, the show has been canceled. The duo of Pete Townsend and Roger Daltrey postponed the concert because Daltrey lost his voice. They were performing in Houston Wednesday and had to cut the concert short. The British rock group canceled the show scheduled for tonight in Dallas as well.
Total bummer there. A police officer in Lakewood went above and beyond to help out a neighbor.
He took the time to make a quick repair. Check it out. Agent Alden brought his tools to work yesterday to repair a mailbox for a senior. Lakewood police say someone had intentionally damaged the mailbox.
Had to get fixed. The officer took it upon himself to right the situation and fix the woman's broken mailbox. Now good as new. Well done, officer. It's great to see him out there doing something like that. Yeah, that's definitely above and beyond.
It certainly is. And right now we want to get to Colorado's first weather with Dave.
Howdy, howdy. Well, as far as cold fronts go, I'll take more of these. We had a front go through this morning, and this is what it looks like out there now. Mostly sunny skies as the sun is rising over the city. Here's the front. It came right out of Wyoming here. There is some moisture with this, but it's still trapped up here in northern Wyoming. That eventually will make it through during the course of the day and mix with this low over Arizona. Temperature-wise, we're in the 40s and 50s all over the northeastern plains. You can see the front has not made it to Colorado Springs yet. They're at 61 degrees, and it's 58 in Pueblo, but it's trucking down in that direction. A lot of weather watchers checking in this morning. We have Gene Tall in Evergreen checking in at 46 degrees this morning, and our junior weather watcher, Andrew in Aurora, coming in at 45. And look what Andrew wrote to me this morning. He said, Dave, can you do a dance to get that several feet of snow in the mountains to come to Denver? Yes, winter is coming. He wants it to snow around here. What do you think? All right, radar and satellite. You can see there's just not a lot of cloud cover with this front, so we're going to start out with mostly sunny skies today. But later this afternoon, probably about 2 o'clock or so, we could get enough moisture coming in that we'll have some isolated thunderstorms form right along the front range here. That's the map at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And that might continue into the early part of the evening. Temperatures cooling down, a lot of 70s and 80s across the eastern plains of Colorado, including Denver. We had 89 yesterday, 75 ought to be our high, comfortable high today. And then over the weekend, upper 70s to mid 80s, mostly sunny conditions. But both Saturday and Sunday, Joel, will be kind of on the windy side. So your hair will be sticking up even more than it is now.
There you go. Well, that's why I go with the short haircut, right?
There you go.
Hey, take a look, I-25 as you get close to I-270. We've had some issues along I-270 this morning, especially on the ramp eastbound to get onto I-70. You got the right lane blocked up. Look at these slow speeds as you get southbound into town. We've got an accident, 104th blocking off the left couple of lanes. So just the right lane's getting by. Speeds into the 20s. for an average for that whole stretch, 22 minutes to get you down into Denver. We've got another accident just south of I-70 on I-25 at about 20th. Some side street trouble, that's Pennsylvania and Ellsworth, and then just slowing in all of those usual spots. As we take you into downtown, you could see the difference between these two. It looks like we finally got that ramp accident cleared out of the way along I-270. This is a look at the drive times along I-270 with speeds into the 20s. We'll be right back.
We have our pet of the week, an 11-year-old Chihuahua mix. Faust is here with us, and he is just very, very sweet. We know that he's been without a home for 8 years.
I'm looking for a Faustian observation on these three on the couch over there. But this is a good doggy, though. Very friendly feller, aren't you? Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Max Fun's a place to go.
Good job.